Ready?
Yeah.
All right, this is low 1626 Guy Wright, Mr. Wright's cabinets. A couple things we want to start with is back here in the back where this pantry. I want to show you some of the spaces and some of the things we have that you can't tell from the design. Basically on the left and right hand side, you've got stairs that go down. You got stairways that go down on both sides. So the space that we're looking at is actually this floor height, which is the height I'm standing on, but they're going to cut the wall out straight across and leave that floor height for us to put the cabinets into. Now in here, this opening, this goes way back that way on that side, way back there. They're actually removing all of this wall. This entire wall's coming out. So when we look at that, the ceilings will be a smooth continuous between the two rooms, and they're peeling all of the popcorn down to where you have a smooth continuous finish. Now, that being said, it's 111.5 inches inside. That's what I've gotten as a measurement, 111.5. We want to make sure we have enough filler space on both sides. As you can see, we've got door trims and stuff. So we'll make sure we have enough filler space inside. More importantly, the height inside of this, which will be the same height, is 95 inches overall height. Now, we had talked about in the design cutting the toe base off down here at the floor. But in fact, I think leaving the toe base on it is actually going to be better, because when we go to put the toe base here, I can actually put a solid flat board on the front of that, and that'll give you the support you need. But more importantly, the drawers, as they pull in and out, they won't be too low to the floor that they might scratch the floor or something. So having that regular 4-inch base underneath it with Shenandoah or Allen Roth, that's going to probably be something we want to keep. We got plenty of room up high for that to happen. So we're looking at this point maybe leaving that with the base in place, and then we're actually going to do the piece inside. Now the flooring, this is wood floor here. You guys are going to go ahead and run wood flooring back into that. What are we going to do from the transition of the door?
Just shim it. Just
shim it up level with it. Okay.
Right.
So it's going to be shimmed up level with the actual place of that. All right. So come back up here. Up on this side, on the right hand side, I've got blocking and I've got a light up inside. All that will be out, gone. It'll just be smooth walls, smooth ceiling, and so your spacing will be 111.5. Now the depth at this point to this wall is about 29 inches, but we're only going to be working inside of 24 inches. All right, step back into the kitchen area. Here on the left-hand side of the design for the kitchen, on the wall where the sink is, we do have a receptacle here on the left. Customer's thinking about just taking that and nutting it and then using that GFI to start this plug. That way the pantry can go here and there won't have to be any kind of a plug or anything inside of that one. The floors and the depth are around 21 inches, so there's no going to be any problem as far as coverage. All of that's going to be deep enough to cover. Up here on the top, again, all the popcorn's coming off. One of the things we looked at was a 36-inch cabinet height. These cabinets that are installed now are only about 17 inches tall. So the cabinets are automatically going to come up about 1 inch from where they're at now. When we start looking at height to the ceiling, we've got about 41.5, 41 3/4 to the ceiling. So a 36-inch upper cabinet's a good choice. 39 would work as well. It's just according to what you guys want to do as far as that width of that riser board. Customers also talking about maybe using store stock crown molding around this part of it and then just painting it to match the cabinet, just as a cost savings thing. Or he might actually want to go ahead and tie that in to another part of the room. Because of it being a proprietary shape, the molding itself won't match store stock molding. So he's looking at that option. Talk to him about what he wants to do with the moldings part of that. All right, keep walking across. We've got a valance, a light, and a dust board. That's going away. The customer knows that that wire is going to have to be brought up and brought into the ceiling, but we're not going to have anything above the window. Right now the window is about 84 inches off the ground, the top of the window to the floor. Here at the sink base underneath, the plumbing we talked about, we've got plumbing through the floor. The two valves are through the floor. The PVC drain is through the wall. Customer's going to replace those two valves with two straight copper 1/2 inch 3/8 compression valves with quarter turn tops to them, so that we have a smaller opening. We don't need the double side valve like that shows there. We can actually use the straights with an added T. And then on the wall there, we've got a T from an old dishwasher connection. That T is actually coming out, and we're going to be doing this a straight pipe back, so we don't have problems with sludge buildup or anything where the T comes through the wall. All right, then keep on going down this wall. We've got measurements. The cabinets are coming right up against the sides of this right now, on both sides against your casing. You had light rail in the design, so light rail then would have to come up and be notched in around these. So talk to your customer about the light rail application with the cabinets against the sides of the casing. We've got measurements from the outside of this molding on the window trim to the edge of this molding here, and that edge is actually a 90-degree return. Like you see, the wall above is straight, but this is a 90-degree return that goes into a bow window on the outside. Now the last thing to talk about is space on this base length. Let me give you a quick measurement. The actual base length here, there, is 129 and a half. 129 and a half is how long the cabinets are along the sink base, and that is the footprint cut out of where the actual cabinets stop, 129 and a half. So anything that we do with that peninsula turnout that comes out this way, we need to cover the actual oak floor at 129 and a half. Okay, last wall is over here, so let's look at this. Right now we've got a 38-inch space. We've got a 30-inch cabinet, 30-inch cabinet. We've got a couple of inches in here that we can gain from the countertop overhang. We've talked about the enclosure, about having a 3-inch column here. The cabinet's brought out to 32 and another column here. That's going to actually get all the way over into this receptacle. This receptacle is going to have problems with that layout. So what we've talked about doing is actually coming in here with a 3/4 inch end panel right at 38 inches. And then having the cabinet above this at 24 inches deep instead of 32, and then adding a filler over here that gives us the space that we need to get the fridge in and out without any problems. So we're going to stay basically the same footprint because, again, the hardwood floor down here is wrapped around that cabinet, and it will cause less problems as far as having to fix stuff if that's a problem with a change on it. Again, we're going to keep the 24 bridge. We're going to do a 3/4 inch end panel. We're going to do a filler against that right-hand wall, and we're going to lose the deep end panels with a 3 inches. Again, that's just too much length. It's going to get over the front of that outlet. Come on down. This is way too low. She has a gas stove, as you can see. So what we've talked about is either putting a 30-15 cabinet up here or a 30-18, according to how tall her microwave is. So when you start looking at microwave heights, 16.5 inches. With a gas stove, you want to be 19.5 to 21 inches off the stove. So it's probably going to have to be a 30-15 cabinet above this to get the microwave up high enough. The gas stoves will cook that if they're not up high enough, the electronics on it. 30-inch wall cabinet, 30-inch base. Right here from the end of this base to the end of this wall, there's about 21 inches of margin here. So that's where the end of that actual cutout on the floor is, okay? Overall, your ceiling heights are about 95 inches as an average, and as far as the rest of the design, I don't have any other things to look at. I think everything else is going to work out. We will be building the cabinets up to this thickness by adding 3/4 blocking underneath all of the cabinets when we install it, because we need to match the peninsula thickness as it comes out on top of the other floor. If you have any other questions for me, feel free to give me a call at 423-650-1051. Thanks very much. Just hit the red button.